Dave came over that weekend, sat with me at my kitchen table, and helped me think clearly for the first time in years. "Mark, you need your own lawyer, your own documentation before she makes her move," he said. "Don't let her control this the way she's controlled everything else." He helped me photograph the folder, screenshot the bank transfers going back 3 years, and quietly consult a family law attorney of my own before Jessica knew I'd found anything at all. Diane arrived June 15th, and almost immediately she started noticing things too. The tension in the house, the way Jessica dismissed Ethan's questions about Mommy and Daddy, the whispered phone calls. Diane had never fully trusted her daughter's marriage from a distance, and up close, it took her less than a week to see clearly what I'd spent years refusing to. Ethan's 10th birthday was June 24th. Jessica insisted on hosting it herself this year. A big backyard party, 30 guests, balloons, a rented bounce house, a 3-tier cake from the bakery she loved. I should have known something was wrong by how excited she seemed about the cake specifically, checking on it twice before the party even started. We gathered everyone around the picnic table as Ethan blew out his candles, 30 adults singing off-key, phones raised to record. Jessica insisted on being the one to cut the first slice. "For tradition," she said, smiling that same magnetic smile that had once made me fall for her. She cut into the bottom tier with dramatic flair, and there it was, a folded legal envelope taped just beneath the frosting, my name typed across the front in bold letters. Mark Delgado, divorce petition and custody filing. The backyard went silent. Ethan, 10 years old in a paper party hat, looked between his mother's proud smile and my stunned face, not understanding what he was witnessing. Jessica had wanted an audience. She wanted me broken and humiliated in front of everyone at once, thinking I had nothing to fight back with. She didn't know what I'd been quietly preparing for 2 weeks. I didn't yell. I didn't cause a scene in front of my son on his birthday the way she clearly wanted me to. I calmly picked up the envelope, looked her directly in the eye, and said, "Thank you for making this easy, Jessica." Then I turned to Diane, who was standing near the drink table, jaw tight, and said quietly, "Diane, I think it's time you saw everything too." That evening, after the guests left and Ethan was asleep, Dave, Diane, and I sat down together. I laid out everything, the drained accounts, the months-old divorce filing she'd hidden while still living as my wife, the custody agreement designed to cut me out entirely and control every dollar of our son's future. Diane, to her credit, was horrified. "She's done this before," Diane admitted quietly, "with her first husband, before you ever met her. I should have warned you." With my own attorney already retained and evidence already documented, the case moved faster than Jessica ever expected. Her hidden financial transfers, nearly $31,000 total, taken over 3 years without my knowledge, became central evidence in the divorce proceedings, painting a clear picture of premeditated deception rather than the sympathetic victim she'd hoped to appear as in court. The judge granted me primary custody of Ethan, citing Jessica's documented financial concealment and her use of our son's birthday as a manipulation tactic, noted directly in the family court records. Jessica was ordered to repay the diverted funds in full, plus significant legal fees, and her carefully constructed image among our friend group crumbled once the full story became known. Most of those 30 birthday guests never spoke to her again. I got the house, I got my son, and most importantly, I got Ethan into weekly counseling with a specialist, so he'd never carry that backyard moment as his defining birthday memory. It took work, but 18 months later, he was laughing again, easy and unguarded, the way a 10-year-old should be. Dave still shows up every single weekend, now taking Ethan fishing the way he once took me. Diane, for what it's worth, apologized more times than I could count, and she's become one of the steadiest people in Ethan's life since. Proof that sometimes the truth reaches people late, but it still reaches them. Last month, we celebrated Ethan's 11th birthday in that same backyard. No hidden envelopes this time, just cake, laughter, and a boy who finally got to blow out his candles without the whole world watching for the wrong reasons. If this story moved you, hit subscribe. There's another one coming next week that'll make you furious before it makes you proud. Take care of yourselves, and remember, the people who truly love you would never turn your happiest moments into weapons. Ex-wife served me divorce papers on our son's 10th birthday cake. There was a folded legal envelope taped to the bottom of my son's birthday cake, hidden under the frosting, waiting for me to find it in front of 30 guests. She planned it for weeks. She wanted an audience for my humiliation. If you enjoy stories like this, hit subscribe, because what she didn't plan for was what happened next. My name is Mark. I'm 41 now, but this story really starts 11 years ago, back when I still believed marriage meant partnership. I grew up outside Sacramento, raised mostly by my older brother Dave after our parents divorced when I was 12. Dave was 10 years older, already out of the house, but he showed up every single weekend to take me fishing, to check my homework, to make sure I turned into a decent man despite the wreckage around us. He's the reason I know what steady love actually looks like. I met Jessica when I was 30. She was magnetic, the kind of woman who lit up a room, quick with a joke, endlessly attentive in those early days. She'd show up at my apartment with takeout from my favorite Thai place just because. Dave met her twice before the wedding and pulled me aside after the second time. Mark, she talks about you like an accessory, not a partner. Watch how she describes your accomplishments, always in terms of what they get her. I brushed it off. I told him he didn't understand her sense of humor. I was wrong, and it would take me 9 years to admit it. The first 3 years of marriage were good, genuinely good. We bought a modest 3-bedroom house in Folsom. Our son, Ethan, was born when I was 32, and for a while, Jessica seemed like a devoted mother. Sleepless nights, packed lunches, the whole picture. Then the cracks started showing. Small things first. She'd redirect every conversation back to herself, dismiss my opinions at dinner parties with a little laugh. Oh, Mark doesn't really know what he's talking about here. She controlled our finances entirely, insisting she was better with numbers. And I, exhausted from working 60-hour weeks as a construction project manager, let her. That was my first real mistake. By the time Ethan turned 5, my friendships had quietly evaporated. Jessica would roll her eyes whenever I mentioned poker night with the guys, make plans that conflicted accidentally, until I stopped trying altogether. Dave was the one relationship she couldn't fully choke off, mostly because he simply refused to disappear, showing up at Ethan's school events whether Jessica liked it or not. The first major incident happened when Ethan was 7. I found out, by accident, checking a shared credit card statement, that Jessica had drained $18,000 from our joint savings, money I'd been putting aside for Ethan's education, into a separate account I didn't know existed. When I confronted her, she didn't deny it. She smiled, actually smiled, and said, "It's my money too, Mark. We're married. Grow up." Then she told our 7-year-old son, within earshot, that Daddy gets upset over nothing. That night, she came to bed soft and sweet, an arm around me. "I'm sorry. Work has just been so stressful. I wasn't thinking clearly." I believed her. I wanted my family intact more than I wanted to be right. The calm lasted 6 weeks that time, then 4. Then, within a year, there was no calm left at all, just a low, constant hum of contempt I'd somehow learned to live inside. The ticking clock arrived last spring. Jessica's mother, Diane, who had lived 3 states away for years and rarely visited, announced she was moving back permanently to help with Ethan's upbringing. Her arrival date was set for June 15th, 9 days before Ethan's 10th birthday. Jessica became noticeably tense the moment she heard, snapping at small things, taking phone calls behind closed doors. I didn't understand why yet. Diane had always been sharper than her daughter, less willing to be charmed. 10 days before Ethan's birthday, I was looking for his Social Security card in Jessica's home office for a school form, and I found a folder tucked behind old tax documents. Inside were printed emails between Jessica and a divorce attorney dated 4 months earlier, and beneath them, a half-finished custody agreement drafted to give her primary custody and full control of Ethan's college fund, the $18,000 she'd already taken, plus more she'd apparently continued siphoning since. She'd been planning this exit for months, quietly building her case, while still sleeping beside me every night like nothing was wrong. I didn't confront her immediately. Instead, I called Dave.